Even though Breaking Bad is arguably the best show ever, LEGO will probably never make sets on it because of how strict they are on rated R properties. But what if they did? Well, that's what we're gonna find out today as we take a look at 3 custom LEGO sets based off of Breaking Bad Season 3. And we're gonna start off with my most requested set ever, Los Pollos Hermanos. The first thing I designed was Gus Fring's figure, and since this guy is one of the best villains of all time, I knew I had to do this figure justice. And I think I did a pretty good job. So first off, I gave him the fin hairpiece in black, as well as gold glasses and a serious expression. He's wearing a light yellow button-up shirt with a side pocket and a black tie, and then for his legs, I gave him a brown belt, dark tan pants, and dark nougat shoes. Lastly, his alternative face has a smile for all the Los Pollos customers. The next character I designed is Walter Hartwell White. He's bald and he has an unhappy facial expression, and he's wearing a gray jacket with a striped gray button-up shirt underneath. He's also wearing khaki pants, a belt, and black shoes. After that, we have Mike Ehrmantraut, who's basically the same figure from my Season 2 video with a concerned look on his face, a brown jacket with a tan shirt underneath, dark brown pants, and a gray gun. The last 2 figures are workers at Los Pollos Hermanos, starting with Lyle, who I know was only in Better Call Saul, but I still thought I'd include him. He uses the original Ninjago J hairpiece, and he has a nervous facial expression as well as a yellow torso with short sleeves and his name tag printed on it. Lastly, I just included a generic female Los Pollos Hermanos employee who has a dual molded hat and hairpiece with a red Pollos Hermanos cap and a blonde ponytail sticking out. She has a confident facial expression and a yellow collared shirt, and then in order to further differentiate her outfit from Lyle's, I gave her a red apron. Now onto the build, which is mostly nougat with red highlights as well as a sign on the front and a sign off to the side as a side build, which is also advertising their breakfast burritos. I also included a Heisenberg poster on the exterior wall to add some detail. To get to the interior, you simply remove the roof and pull the build apart, which is quite easy since it's only attached by a couple of pins. On the first side is the seating area with 3 tables which all have a red light above them. There's a booth in the middle and chairs on either side, and all the tables have some kind of food item on them, and then on the right wall you can even see a Los Pollos Hermanos clock. Across from this section is the counter where you order your food, and up top is the large and colorful menu, then on the left is a small soda fountain with some utensils next to it. You'll see that on the counter there are some churros and a cash register, which if you look through the kitchen you can see that it displays the amount 308. Speaking of the kitchen, the door on the right takes you right inside, and the kitchen has a ton of drawers, cabinets, pots and pans, a stove, and even the deep fryer that Lyle has to clean. On the other side of the kitchen is another clock, as well as a bucket of fry batter, some suspicious blue bags, and even the blueprints for the Super Lab printed on a blue 2x3 tile. And with that, the first of the 3 sets in this video are completed. So here's one last look at the set with all the figures surrounding it, and here's a look at the box art that I designed for this set. Now, I wanted to do the next set based off of an action scene, and what better scene to make a set off of than one of the tensest scenes in the entire show, and quite possibly the best fight scene, the battle between Hank Schrader and the Salamanca Twins. So of course, the first minifigure in the set is Hank himself, who has an angry and somewhat shocked face, and his light gray button-up shirt is beaten up, and he's even got a couple of bullet wounds. He's wearing a watch, black shoes, and his accessory is of course the gun that he picked up. Next is the first twin, Lionel, who's wearing a dark gray suit with many pockets and a yellow shirt underneath. He's got dark nougat shoes with an angry expression and a bit of facial hair, and his accessory is a gun. Obviously, the last figure in this set is the other Salamanca twin, Marco, who's got a more serious expression than his brother, and his suit is in a lighter shade of gray. He's also wearing a pink shirt underneath, and his accessory is the axe he tried to use to finish off Hank. The build for this set is Hank's Jeep, which was a pretty simple design, although as a lot of you already know, I'm not great with vehicles, which is why I modeled this set off of the Jurassic World Jeeps, making several modifications for accuracy, of course. The Jeep is black with gray wheels, and on the back we can see the New Mexico license plate. Then on the front we can see the windshield has 3 bullet holes, and on the inside we can see Hank's ID card and the flowers that he bought from Marie. Then up front is a GPS map of Albuquerque right next to the steering wheel. So here's the completed set with all the figures, and here's the box art that I made. Alright, so for Season 3, I had originally planned to do Don Eladio's house, but eventually I changed my mind because it wasn't really in Season 3, so I'll probably either do it for Season 4 or for a season of Better Call Saul, so stay tuned for that. The location that I did end up deciding on is the hospital, because although it isn't the most action-packed location, plenty of pivotal moments occur here. Everything from Walt's diagnosis, to Jesse and Hank ending up here, to even Lionel's death. So, as always, we're gonna start off with the figures. The first figure in this set is finally a figure of Heisenberg, and although Walt doesn't actually wear the hat here, it is one of the first places where he sported his new goatee. His hat is actually a new mold for his fedora, which I made using a top hat piece and a large circular piece, and I just resized and merged both of them. For his torso, I gave him a dark brown jacket with a sand blue button-up shirt underneath, then he's wearing a belt, dark blue pants, and for that extra bit of detail, I gave him some black shoes. Next is Jesse Pinkman, who as you can see has been totally beat up by Hank. He's using the sleepyhead hairpiece in brown, and his face has some stubble, several cuts, and an eye too swollen to even open, and then he also has an alternative face from when he angrily threatens Walt. His torso has a black sweater over a colorful Japanese shirt, and then he's also got dark blue pants and is sitting in a blue wheelchair. Then for his accessory, I gave him a cigarette, but since LEGO obviously doesn't make a cigarette piece, I chose to use a lipstick piece in white. After that, I included the man who put Pinkman in critical condition, Hank Schrader. He has a serious facial expression and is wearing a hospital gown with dark blue dots, dual molded arms, and light blue pants. The next character is Jesse's girlfriend, Andrea. She has a smiling facial expression and the Hermione hairpiece in black. She's wearing a red sweater and sand blue pants, and lastly, she has an alternative shocked facial expression. After that, I included Andrea's son, Brock, who has a concerned facial expression and uses the Finn hairpiece in black. His torso is a blue, white, and green striped collared shirt, he has dual molded arms, and lastly, he has dark blue, short legs. The final character in the set is Marie Schrader, and her figure uses the Black Widow hairpiece in brown and has a seriously concerned face. She has a pink outfit with a gold necklace as well as a lighter pink torso and a dress in a darker shade of pink, and finally she's wearing black high heels. The build of the hospital is a tan 2-story building with several windows, an entrance with sliding glass doors, and a no smoking sign on either side of the entrance. The top of the building has a sign for the hospital in light blue, and the side of the building has another Heisenberg poster. The interior of the first floor is tiled off in white and sand green and has some blue chairs by the entrance. The left side has a reception area with a computer, a map, and a bulletin board. There's also a lily of the valley flower on the counter, and behind it are some folders, possibly looking into a former patient's supposed electricity allergy. On the other side of the first floor is the hospital's breakfast bar, and this area alone made me consider putting Walter Jr. in this set, but I decided to wait until I do the White's house for season 4. Anyhow, there's a small table with a plate that has sausage and eggs on it, and behind that is a counter with forks, juice, milk, and bowls. Before we move on to the second floor, I should mention that it does have a spoiler for season 4, so if you haven't seen that yet, go watch it and come back when you have. Going back to the build, on the second floor is the actual hospital area, and in the middle we can see a small waiting area where Walt is chowing down on some Los Pollos Hermanos that he got to go. On the left side is the spoiler part, which is Brock's hospital bed from season 4. As you can see, it has a bed, a heart rate monitor, a table, and a shelf with some medicine. The other side is Hank's hospital room, which as you can see is full of gifts, such as a balloon, flowers, and a bunch of get well soon cards, and for a challenge, see if you can spot all the Easter eggs I've hidden in them. Lastly, next to Hank's bed is a table with one of his rocks on it.
They're minerals.
Sorry, minerals. Well, anyway, here's the set all together, and here's the box art that I made for the set. Well, that's about all I have for you guys today. If you liked the video, then make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already, because I'm going to be doing a couple of Guardians of the Galaxy videos over the next 2 weeks, so stay tuned for that. As always, leave any suggestions you have for videos or sets or anything like that in the comments below, because they're super helpful for brainstorming and I always love reading y'all's comments. Lastly, make sure to check out my Better Call Saul sets from a couple weeks ago. I'm really proud of that video and I really think you'd enjoy it. So yeah, make sure to go check it out. And on that note, that's about all I have for you guys today. Have a great day and go build something awesome.